Is it just me, or does anyone else also have all of these books that they have never read before and I can't get rid of them? I keep them because I think one day I will read them. If you're new to my channel, hi, my name's Rebecca, and if you're not, well, welcome back. I really love books and I keep buying them, and I also get them as gifts, and then if somebody declutters them or if they're for free, I can't say no to that opportunity if I think they're interesting and if I want to read them. But it turns out that I don't really have the time to read all of these books, or maybe they're not as interesting as I thought, because I have all these books that I really wanted to read but I never have. But I keep them just in case. This is about half of the pile that I have here that I've never read before, and books are heavy. They take away a lot of space. I really want to declutter my books, but books are something that are super difficult to declutter, especially if I haven't read them, because then I think I will still read them and I want to keep them. But I end up just moving all of these books with me to the next place that I live at, and books are heavy. We all know that. I know I will be moving again, not right away, but I'm guessing in about a year, and I don't want my books to weigh me down or other belongings to make it difficult to move, and I really don't want to put up with the hassle of taking books with me that in the end I will never read. I've done that in the past, not anymore. I'm not going to do that anymore, and I'm giving myself until the end of this year to finish all of these books, and if I haven't finished them, then it's not important enough for me to keep these books. Let me give you a quick overview of all the books that are on my to-read list. And if you don't want to see that in detail, then just skip to the next chapter where I'm going to explain what my next steps are. I tried to categorize the books a little bit, and I will show you. So I have some novels, I have books from the time I was in France, I have non-fiction books, more non-fiction books, 2 finance books. Well, Actually, there are 3 of them. So let's start with these. I love personal finance books and I also read many of them. But these, however, I haven't really touched yet, but I also have them for less than a year, I think. This one was for free. Someone had decluttered it and I had to get it because Warren Buffett. But it's very long, and I have actually already read the short form on Blinkist, and I don't know whether that is going to give me so much more value, so I have to think about it. And I have 2 more. A German finance coach. I want to know what his take on things are, because I've never read a book of his. And this one is all about financial crisis and how to decide well in a financial crisis. Let's move on to the fiction books. I really love fiction books because they're usually easy reads, and it's just a way for me to relax. These 3 I got for free from people who decluttered them, and I thought they sounded interesting. This one, Angela's Ashes, is about the childhood of the author in the 1930s, 40s. And these 2 are thrillers, which I love to read. Moving on to the French books, I have actually lived in France about 4 years ago for a couple of months, and this was just something I wanted, the experience of going in a French bookstore, buying some books. I also wanted to read them at home, to keep reading in French and keep improving my language. Have I actually read them? No. Not one of them. I have started all of them, but I have never made it past the first chapter, I think. I have 2 that are novels, so La Lionne, which is The Lion, and also Un appartement à Paris. And did I buy this for the cover? Yes, I kind of did. And then I got a classic, which I always wanted to read, so I got it in French. It's the Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. And then I got this one, which was on sale, and it's Focus, the Hidden Driver of Excellence. Next up, non-fiction books. So this one I've had for years. I've always wanted to read it, and I made it, I think, halfway through. Never finished it though. Then these 2 books that I bought that are more about lifestyle or alternative living, a little bit more simple living. This one, I don't even know where I got it from. I guess it was free. This one is one of my most recent buys, 50 Sentences That Make Your Life Easier. Untamed. So many people are raving about it. I wanted to read it. Lean In for Graduates. I've had that since I graduated college in 2015. I read a couple of chapters, but not all of it. Me and White Supremacy, a book that I also recently bought because I really want to educate myself more on that topic. Brilliant Memory, because who doesn't want to be brilliant and smart? Me. Then these 2, The Hope Quotient and Winning the War in Your Mind, which are more of changing the way you think. And then another classic, Fluent Forever. Classic because I've had it for a long time. I love languages, and this is a really good book, but I've never finished it. I really want to finish it though. So these were all the books that I want to read, but I've never done it. So my approach is going to be the following. I'm giving myself until the end of this year, and if I haven't read them until then, they're going. And for the ones that I have read, for most of them, I will probably let them go, because once I have read them, it's easy for me to let them go, because most of these books I will not read again. But there might be some that I feel like are adding a lot of value to my life and I want to keep revisiting them. So in that case, I will keep them. Currently, I'm thinking that I will keep between like 5 to 10 of these books. Like this one, for example, I think I cannot get rid of it. But on the other hand, if I haven't touched it in 5 years, I really need to keep it. I will see once I have read it. I will divide these books up into the quarters of the year to really make it through. For the first quarter, I already picked some of these books without knowing that I want to read all of them. So I only picked 3. These 2, plus a novel that I was borrowing from a friend that I have already finished and I gave it back to her. Additionally to these 3, I have also read these 2 novels. This one I finished after years of reading it. For the next quarters, obviously, I'm going to pick a few more because otherwise I will never finish. But I'm also just picking up other books that I really want to read at that time so I can advance. There are a couple of things that I really want to learn in this period of time that I'm focusing on reading these books. The first one is that not every book needs to be read or finished, which is very difficult for me because once I start a book, I want to finish it. But if it's really bad, if you're not enjoying yourself, then why should you force yourself to finish that book? Since I have that many books to read this year, then I'd rather pick up another book that I enjoy more and that I want to read than one that's not giving me anything. The second thing I want to learn, and that will be more towards the end of this challenge, is letting go of the books that you have never read before or that you have not finished. In my logic, if I have bought a book because I wanted to read it, I can't get rid of it before I have read it. But I have heard someone say, and I don't remember whether it was Marie Kondo or some other decluttering professional, that things like books, for example, can have served its purpose already by you just buying them and having the intention of reading them. And that was what you needed at the moment, so you bought the book. But if where you are now, you don't need that book anymore and you don't want to read it, then it's not serving its purpose anymore and you can get rid of it. I don't know whether that really makes sense to you, and if you remember what exactly she said or whoever said that, then please let me know in the comments down below. So that's my plan for the year. I hope this really encouraged you to go through your things and look at the books, for example, that you have not read before, or even other things that you say, I could declutter them, but I've never used them yet, so I can't. Set yourself a period of time and try to use these items and see whether they actually bring value to your life. And if they don't, declutter them in the end. If you've liked this video, then give me a thumbs up, consider subscribing to my channel. I make a lot of personal finance content, but also things like this, decluttering, getting rid of things, and making your life more simple. Have a great rest of your week, and I will see you in my next video.